I wanted to share a thought in this week's parsha based on something that the Ohr HaChaim HaKadosh teaches us. Pasuk says, "Vayakhel kol avodas hamishkan kol avodas mishkan al moed, vayasu b'nei Yisrael kechol asher tzivah Hashem es Moshe kenasu." After having gone through the last two parshas with the commandments to build the Mishkan and the details of the construction of how the Mishkan is going to be done, B'Tzalel at the helm, it tells us that the avoda, the work to build the Mishkan, was completed. And they finished it. Who finished it? Vayasu b'nei Yisrael. Rashi says, Es hamelacha kechol asher tzivah Hashem. B'nei Yisrael did exactly what the Ribono Shel Olam, what God Himself asked of them. The Ohr HaChaim HaKadosh asks a very simple question. He's troubled. I don't understand. Why does it say Vayasu b'nei Yisrael, which implies that they all did it, that they all worked to construct the Mishkan? It's simply not true. It was B'Tzalel, it was the Chachmei Lev, the people described who had the talents that were necessary, and the artisans, the ones who were able to do the Melechas HaMishkan. And they are the ones who donated to the Melechas HaMishkan. But it was not the entirety of Klal Yisrael. So why does the Pasuk tell us Vayasu b'nei Yisrael? And the Ohr HaChaim HaKadosh tells us a yesod, tells us an important idea. And he says that when it comes to Kiyum HaTorah, when it comes to Torah and to mitzvos, there is a connection, there is an interconnection between the Jewish people, between different members of the Jewish people. And not every person is going to be able to participate in every single mitzvah. But if the mitzvah is misyaches, if the mitzvah comes back to the klal, then it is as if the klal has participated in it. It's as if the klal has participated in it. And that's what it means, or hinted to, when it says, V'ahavta l'reacha kamocha, you should love somebody else like you love yourself. He says, L'tzad shehu kamos, in the way that he is like you. Because the shlemos, the completeness of Klal Yisrael, is only going to come if we connect with other people. It's that bond of us joining together. That's what makes us into the Klal Yisrael. And then Mabit teaches us that this is clear, or based on a kasha that he has, a question that he has, in something that we take for granted. The Torah gives us Taryag mitzvos, 613 mitzvos. Say 365 of the assays and 248 of the los assays, corresponding to the body, to the parts of the body, to the sinews, to the ivarim of the body, and to the shesag gidav, and to our gidim. The problem is that no person can do all the mitzvos. Not because they don't want to, not because they don't care, not because mitzvos are insignificant to them, but because some mitzvos were only given to certain people. And some mitzvahs were given to Kohanim, and those are mitzvahs to the Kohen Gadol. And there are mitzvahs that are given only in very specific circumstances. So yes, we can count up the mitzvahs and we can come to 613 mitzvahs, but there's not going to be an individual. So what's the significance of saying that it corresponds to the body if no one person's body is actually going to be doing the mitzvahs? And that, the Mabit tells us, is exactly this idea. Is that what that teaches us is that Klal Yisrael as a whole are one body. We're all connected. And the mitzvahs that somebody else is able to be mashlim, that somebody else is able to complete, helps complete me. And the mitzvahs that I do can help complete somebody else. There is a connection. There is a unit. There is, maybe the way to describe it is, there's a Klal Yisrael similar to the concept they have by a korban of the tzibur, that tzibur can't die, even though normally the owner of a korban, for the time that the animal is sanctified until the hakrava, the person can't die, and even if they are partners, then the korban cannot be brought. And yet, when Klal Yisrael bring a korban, there are always people who perish. So how can it be that we can ever bring a korban of the tzibur? The answer is because the tzibur is lo meis. There's a metaphysical unit of Klal Yisrael, Knesset Yisrael, that is strong and that can never disappear. And what the Torah is teaching us here is that yes, the Mishkan was built only by a few individuals. But those individuals, and the individuals who want to, and the individuals who did everything that they could, are part of this Klal Yisrael. And when Klal Yisrael work together, and I do my part, and you do your part, and somebody else does his or her part, that's what makes us into a unit. And then together, it's Vayas. It's Vayas the entire Vayasu B'nai Yisrael, that we all do everything that is necessary. We have an achrayus, we have a responsibility not only to ourselves, but to other people. The mitzvahs that we do are far-reaching. And that's the yesod of the Orach Chaim HaKadosh. Vayasu B'nai Yisrael, doesn't matter. Only a few Jewish people did it. It wasn't a shlichus. It wasn't that they were representatives. It was that they did their part, and that is part of the entirety of Klal Yisrael. And when we do those mitzvahs, when we take responsibility and elevate each other spiritually, then all of us are elevated together as one Klal Yisrael.